Grammar Module 6. This grammar video will cover prepositions. Let's begin by asking the question, what are prepositions? Well, in the middle of the word preposition, you will notice the word position. In general, prepositions position a noun in either space or time. As always, there are exceptions to this rule. In the space category, there is above, in, under, against. In the time category, there's after, by, during, until. Other prepositions include of, like, except, and beside. In the example shown here, the prepositions alter space. The prepositions shown here are used in a prepositional phrase to modify the sentence, the monkeys jumped. The monkeys jumped on the bed. The monkeys jumped over the bed. The monkeys jumped around the bed. The monkeys jumped into the bed. In the example shown here, the prepositions alter time. I felt grumpy during the test, but I felt happy after the test was over. As mentioned, a few prepositions don't fit neatly into the space or time category, such as of, like, concerning, and regarding. Now we will discuss potential errors in preposition selection. The correct sentence is, he should have checked his teeth before giving the presentation. Here you can see that the preposition of is not interchangeable with have. This is also true for may have, could have, might have, and so on. Similarly, be careful not to replace the preposition from with off or off of. The grammatically correct sentence here is, I'll ask my neighbor if I can borrow a cup of sugar from her, but not off her or off of her. This mistake usually occurs when you want to address something that is borrowed from someone or something. And finally, be careful not to use the preposition to instead of the adverb to with two O's, which means also or more than enough. Next summer, I plan to visit the islands and National Park too. In this sentence, where it says National Park too, the word to is being used to indicate also or additionally. The parade was too long to keep the interest of the children. In this example, the words was too long to is being used to indicate more than enough or excessively. Now let's have a look at a few more prepositions that are used incorrectly. Among and between, beside and besides, except and except, as and like. First, let's turn our attention to among and between. This is actually a fairly easy rule to remember. Between is used if you have exactly two persons or things. I couldn't decide between the chocolate velvet cake and the New York cheesecake. Indicates exactly two options. Use among if you have three or more persons or things, as demonstrated in the sentence, we decided to divide one dessert among the four of us. Beside and besides are also easily distinguishable when you stop briefly to consider the context of the sentence. If you mean to indicate that something is next to something else, you use beside. This is rarely mistaken. My beater car is parked beside the red Harley-Davidson motorcycle. But it is more common to leave the S off besides when you want to indicate that something is in addition to something else. Such as in the sentence, besides a hair and makeup guru, the celebrity also has an image consultant. Accept and accept are two different parts of speech. Accept with an A is a verb which means to agree or to receive, as in, I accepted the job offer. Accept with an E, on the other hand, is a preposition that indicates exclusion or but, such as in the sentence, it rained every day of our vacation except the day we were leaving. In the case of like versus as or as if, you need to look at whether you have a clause being introduced. In the example of as or as if, it looks as if it might rain. As if is being used to introduce the independent clause, it might rain. When we use like, we're using it to introduce nouns or pronouns, such as in the sentence, "Your room looks like a pigsty." Finally, you have to avoid ending sentences or clauses with prepositions. This is fine for casual conversation, but not so much for formal or professional writing. In casual conversation, you might say, "What are you going to the store for?" But in formal writing, if you end with a preposition, you can usually just take that preposition and move it to the front of the sentence, such as, "For what are you going to the store?"